have not, I mean, obviously you're being careful. I'm not intimating that you're not. I mean, listen, you got a wife, a family, kids, the whole thing. But I feel like you have found better ways to occupy your time than I have.
Dude, I tell you what, it's been time I would have never got with my family, man. We've been spending a lot of quality time riding motorcycles, go-karts, bicycles. It's probably the best place to be quarantined of anywhere in the world. My backyard is like the hot spot for action sports, if you will. But I had to quarantine just kind of by ourselves for a while, and then just recently we're starting to do some commercials and open up some stuff down there. Just small film crews. So trying to get back on track.
Hey, let me ask you this. Let me start here, and then I'll venture into a couple of other things. Last time we spoke, it was a couple of months ago, and we started talking about this little project that you had in mind that you wanted to build out in Sudlersville that was going to be a place for everybody from a beginner up until world-class athletes like yourself who kind of all come out of that action sports world, if you will. I believe Circuit 199... I feel like, based on everything I read, we're moving forward in a big way.
Dude, everything's been absolutely awesome, but that's actually why I really wanted to come on as well, because just a little bit of miscommunication over there, and I can't get over there because of quarantine and everything to really talk to everybody. So I think everyone that knows what it is pretty excited, but what it's not is it's not a motocross track. So, there's been some guys over there like, hey, we don't want a motocross track in town, we don't want dust. There's no dust. This thing, it's a way for me to basically hang out with my kids. My wife won the World Championship last year in skateboarding, basically bring in the community, try to be a fun facility for that. And then also to get, we have everyone around the world that comes into action sports. Now with the Olympics and everything going on, they come to my house. And all these countries and everything are trying to do the safest progression possible. And I have all this stuff that we just want to put out there to get this progression part going. So guys from all around the world can come train for world championships, but also build it up from like my kids level where, at 2 years old, they're on a pump track and kind of get that entryway into action sports. And for me, man, I'm in racing cars. With age, get a cage, and just really want to go out there and show the world what we can do with flying cars, 150 feet, working with electric, trying to push that forward as green as possible, drop the noise down a little bit, and just have some fun as a family. So, Maryland already has Budds Creek. Budds Creek is the best probably motocross track in the entire world. Like, I love that, man. They got a great BMX track, but I think we really have an awesome contingent of go-kart drivers and young guys coming up and just really want to kind of bring everyone together.
Hey, just for stupid people like me, Travis, when you talk about there's no dirt, was that going to be a big concern for people?
Yeah, well, I think, everyone that lives near a motocross track, they're like, oh, man, just a bunch of buzzing chainsaws all day long, and you got a lot of dust. So our main goal is to make this thing so, it's going to be completely surrounded by trees. We're not, it's not going to be an eyesore. This is a world-class motorsports facility built for the best drivers on earth to come here to kind of rebuild a sport, but also as a family and to be something that hopefully be really positive in the community.
You know what, like for example, and this is what I'm happy for, and I don't know if it would be, but let me back up for a second. So you said it starts with beginners. So I was talking to my kids who are teenagers. I was talking to them yesterday about you being on today, and they know who you are. But anyway, we were talking about, and one of them has really gotten into Formula One racing. And so even at some point he was like, man, I wish I would have gotten into like go-karts or things like that when I was younger. Don't worry, not in place of hockey, Travis, but like gotten into that.
So that was just checking.
Right. But like he said, oh, I wish I would have gotten into something like that younger. And then I just sat there and was like, oh, I don't know where I would have taken you.
Do you think he's past his prime as a teenager? Like he couldn't.
A teenager's not going to start driving at Formula One racing right now. I can't get into it. But I would gladly take him out there and allow him to start running around in like go-karts and stuff.
Yeah, no, most of the Formula One drivers started driving go-karts at 2. I was on, go-karts and dirt bikes 2, 3 years old. But dude, this is a place where we're going to have, and it's going to be electric, like working on electric cars and working with all the companies to try to make it so it's not noise pollution. There's definitely still going to be motors. It's still a motorsports park. There'll still be noise, no doubt about it. But yeah, as early as, probably 4 years old, get everyone out there and start on go-karts and work our way up. I mean, racing is not very affordable. So that's my goal, is to bring racing to start at go-karts. And then you ever heard of like side-by-sides, like these Can-Ams? You guys seen those?
Yeah, I mean, the answer is yes, but I've seen a lot of them in like your videos and stuff as well.
Yeah, so I mean, but that's, you can get a used side-by-side that's like race ready, pretty much like a Baja truck. Does jumps, everything for, under $10,000, and to go race from go-karts and then get into those, and then, you got Spec Series Miata racing and all this stuff. And this isn't going to be a huge track. Like, this is a shorter form track built mostly for like rallycross cars. But basically a way for people that want to get racing, but just, I mean, shoot, you can't afford, well, I don't know. I mean, maybe a lot of people can, but most of my friends can't afford a $100,000 race car to go race around. So like this, I just want to build this facility to show that you can have a lot of fun with your family, coming up from go-karts all the way up to supercars. I mean, we're working on 0 to 60 in 1 second electric SUVs. Like, the future is going to be pretty exciting.
Jesus Christ. Hey, do you remember the first vehicle you jumped and got in the air?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, starting with go-karts, I was 2 years old. My dad got me, he built, jerry-rigged, welded together, if you will, a go-kart, put a 5-horsepower Briggs & Stratton, and I rolled it. And I was probably about 3 years old the first time I rolled it. So he put a seatbelt and a roll cage, which is a metal bar over the top. Safety's come so far.
Wait a minute. The first time you rolled a vehicle, your dad didn't even have a seatbelt in there for you?
Well, I mean, it was the 80s, right? We didn't know about this stuff. I had goggles, no helmet. There's pictures. I lived, though. We're good. I want to take what the mistakes that my parents and I've made and try to help my kids live longer, healthier lives through the Circuit 199.
Hey, so now so now that's like, I went to circuit199.com, right? And there's a big thing that says coming soon. Do you have any idea, like, when do we break ground? When do I need to show up with a hard hat and a shovel?
Honestly, the town's on board, talking to all of the firehouse, and everyone's so pumped. We've got Queen Anne's Conservation Association. I like what they're doing. They got some great stuff, but they've taken a hard no on our facility. But I don't think they really understand what it is. And they're having a hard time even finding people in Sudlersville to kind of oppose it. But just want to get out there and trying to get to those guys a little bit and just let them know, hey, I know it's not for everybody, but man, we're going to have trees that outline this whole place, and they can really slow us down. So they basically put up roadblocks everywhere possible, which totally understand. That's their job. But they can hold us up, 2 years, and I'm self-funded out of this until we got the green light for sure. So my lawyers are basically like, man, we're going to be $500,000 in 2 years down the road. So just trying to get the word out on what this thing. It's not a motocross track. It's going to be for the community. We're working towards electric. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think anyway. So definitely check out circuit199.com. We're getting some more stuff up there. We got a pump track, which, like I said, what is a pump track? And that is like basically a beginning way for all age groups, starting at 2. My kids were on them, to get into action sports, and definitely trying to build that ground up. My wife, world champion, she's going to be out there. She does a lot of stuff